June is National Pollinator Month, which means you should be planting pollinator-friendly plants. But there's a big mistake I see gardeners make when it comes to how they design their pollinator gardens, and I'm gonna help you fix that in this video. Now, the problem I see people make all the time is they spread their gardens out too much and they spread individual plants out too much instead of planting them together in clusters or groups. Clustering or grouping your plants together in big blocks is super beneficial to the pollinators for two main reasons. First of all, it makes foraging super efficient for these insects. So imagine you've got these coreopsis here and you have an insect that really likes to forage on the coreopsis. Instead of having to go to one plant and then travel a big distance to find another plant, they can just move all around these blooms that are all clustered together and be able to feed really efficiently. But also, by clustering or clumping your plants together in larger blocks, you're actually going to attract more pollinators to your garden. And scientific researchers have actually backed this up and quantified it, because there are insects such as the monarch butterfly that migrates at pretty high altitudes. They are often anywhere from 800 to 1500 feet in the air as they are migrating, sometimes even higher. Now, the reason for that is because when it comes to things like bees and migrating butterflies, they are visually attracted to flowers, which means they're not picking up the smell of them, they are looking for the actual flowers. And if they're flying high up in the air, one single plant is not going to stand out enough for them to be attracted to that plant. And what the researchers found is that by planting your plants in bigger blocks, when you're looking at the earth from way up high, you can actually spot those flowers much more easily. I mean, just imagine if you were in a small plane flying above the earth, would you be able to pick out this one plant in amongst a field of grass? Probably not. However, if you have a large group of flowers together, it's visually going to be a larger area of color that's going to stand out, and it's going to attract them to come down and feed on their migration path. And what they found is that 3 feet by 3 feet of color is much more effective at bringing them in rather than just individual plants that are scattered around. So as you're designing these gardens, instead of putting, one of your yarrow plants over here, then moving 10 or 15 feet away and putting another one, instead, try clustering 5 or 7 or 10 plants together so that you can achieve that 3 foot by 3 foot minimum for each variety of plant. And lastly, make sure that you actually have open sky above these plants. If you're trying to do a pollinator garden and you're underneath trees, it's not very likely that bees and butterflies are going to be able to actually see those flowers. So when you are picking your site, make sure that there's at least nice views of the sky so that your plants can get more sun and the pollinators can see your plants.